Good evening, everyone. As was articulated, my name is Robert Robinson, PRP. I'm a professional registered parliamentarian with the National Association of Parliamentarians. I would like, before I address particular issues of import to this body, to make a few statements. The first thing is that as a professional registered parliamentarian, I'm a neutral entity. I'm not on anybody's side. And my role is to interpret the rules and provide recommendations to the chair. The reason I'm sought after and I'm effective is because my practice is to make sure that my recommendations can stand up in court. I base my recommendations on three things, and I would invite everyone to take a note of these three things. I base my recommendations on the law. I base my recommendations on an organizational's rules of order. I base my recommendations on Robert's Rules of Order. I've in fact shared some feedback that was not particularly liked, but I base my recommendations on the rules. I am not in the New Kings. I am not in county. I am not in any of these political organizations. I don't have a dog in a fight. I'm interested in one thing and one thing only, and that is my job to interpret the rules and provide recommendations. The second thing I want to share, and I want to be very clear about this, do not threaten me. I'm here to do a job as a professional. So Alan Boneville, don't threaten me. You sent me an email to my personal email account. I forwarded that to the police. My response to you was do not email me again. And that was it. The detectives have that statement. Jorge Munez, don't bully me. Your quotes in the chat have been screenshot and they have been saved. We're gonna operate as professionals. You are Democrats. You're supposed to be about the process and about fairness. This is not the way that you do that. And I'm not going to accept that. Now, I want to share with you all some things that I think are of particular import with regard to what has transpired in your adjourned meeting, because your meeting has been referred to improperly as a recess. That's not what that was. It was an adjourned meeting, time affixed. And so I wanted to make sure we were all operating under the same terminology. It means the same thing. It doesn't change anything. I just wanted to share with you what the proper terminology was, and some of you know that. Now, Robert's Rules of Order has been established as your parliamentary authority. And so I want to refer you to the hierarchy of rules. The hierarchy of rules, R&R 23 to 225, page 19, not page 9 to 17, indicate that the hierarchy of rules are law, corporate charter, constitution bylaws, special rules of order, that would be your county rules, parliamentary authority, standing rules, and custom, which is also referred to as precedent. Judges like the word precedent. That's what custom is. I also want to make sure that now moving forward, since we have structure, you understand what that means. So assignment of the floor. This means that no one will be recognized unless the chair recognizes you. No one will be allowed to speak unless you have an interrupting motion. And your interrupting motion must be germane to the pending question, and it cannot be dilatory. Points of order are about an infraction of the rules, not a difference of perspective or viewpoint. Once addressed, all others are out of order unless the infraction is applicable to a new topic or an issue. That means you cannot continue to call a point of order on something just because you don't like it. There's also a differentiation between a point of order, a parliamentary inquiry, and a question of privilege. And you can Google all those things. The idea here is to be able to move the meeting along efficiently. So my comments now come from the law, and I'm going to articulate a remedy court. And so let me share with you first the omnibus motion that was adopted at the end of your last meeting. The omnibus motion that was adopted at the end of your last meeting is out of order. And it was out of order on 2 grounds. And I'm going to speak very, very clearly so that everyone can document what I am saying and you can prepare your brief. Number 1, they violated the Honorable Judge Edgar G. Walker's decision, which determined that the Executive Committee's filling of vacancies was an infraction of your rules, and as such illegal. The net result of which means that the filling of vacancies becomes the first order of business to be taken up at the adjourned meeting, the recess meeting that we are currently in. It operates as a special order. This means that your agenda, because the judge ruled that the executive committee had no authority to fill vacancies, reverts back to what it was at your meeting that was adjourned. Article 3, Section 1, which has the filling of vacancies next in the order of business after the adoption of the rules, which you took up. So you handled that agenda item. Next would be the filling of vacancies. You have to understand that whether you were operating under Robert's Rules of Order, general parliamentary law, an agreement that 2 people made on the side, it doesn't matter. Law trumps everything, which is the reason why the judge, when he made that order, reversed what the executive committee did. So, because law trumps all, this is not debatable. It can't be departed from. Thus, the order of business indicated in the omnibus motion is out of order. The second point is that it violated your own rules. I'll point you to Article 3, Section 8D of your rules, and I'm going to read it. At the organizational meeting of the county committee, when unfinished business and new business are before the members, no motion or resolution requiring a vote shall be considered. I want to repeat that again. Under your own rules, it's Article 3, Section 8D. At the organizational meeting of the county committee, when unfinished business and new business are before the members, no motion or resolution requiring a vote shall be considered. I know it was 2:25 in the morning and everybody was ready to log off, but you cannot violate your own rules by adopting a motion that goes against your rules. A judge will rule that the omnibus motion was out of order just on those grounds, your rules. 3, the Mariana rules that were adopted, unfortunately, are also voided, as the adoption of which were grouped with the omnibus motion. I'm not sure who gave that advice. And Mariana, if you can hear my voice, let me just share with you that because they were grouped in this motion, then they are also void. You cannot cherry pick which part of the motion can stand and which part it can't. The rules included changes, which in effect are amendments. Amendments must be brought before the body, debated, and allowed to be amended before adoption. So when the Mariana rules were grouped with the omnibus motion, there was no opportunity for the body to debate and amend those rules before they were adopted. The existing rules, therefore, are enforced until such time as any new rules, properly adopted, are filed with the election board as per election law. So, irrespective of what rules you adopt at your meeting, the current rules continue to remain in force. So this parliamentarian did not even understand the motion to continue the current rules that you all voted on in your previous meeting, because those rules were going to remain in effect anyway as per election law. I want to reiterate that the highest authority in the land is the law. And when the judge indicated that the executive committee did not have the authority to fill vacancies, then under the rules of your organizational meeting, you revert back to the order of business, the next item of which is the filling of vacancies. So I am now going to turn this back over to the chair, and I'm going to resume my duties as the parliamentarian. And I want to thank everyone for their time and for your vote to adopt R&R as your parliamentary authority, because I don't know any organized society that does not operate under a structured set of rules for the reason of being able to move things along in a fair process. Thank you.